Get in here. I know One Piece, only problem. Okay, so tell me why my life is actually a little peaceful right now. My life is really peaceful right now. Okay, but it's kind of been throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds real strange because so many of us really spend years and years and years trying to create peace in our lives, trying to make sure we're doing the right things, trying to live healthier lives, trying to get to a place of, all right, things feel good. But lately I've been thinking about how I really actually don't know how to live and exist without mentally preparing for my next battle. And as soon as I got more of what I wanted, more of what I was working for, I became less able to psychologically live inside of it, to really accept it. Because how in the hell am I living a reality that at one point I was on my hands and knees wishing and praying for, but I really can't sit in it? What's going on? What's going on here? So I want to talk about it. Get in here. Let's unpack. Okay, friends, so if you have already been following me, I know I haven't posted in a couple of weeks, okay, because I've been trying my best to get these videos out. Okay, but that's beside the point, all right? If you've been following me and you're kind of familiar with my videos, you know that recently I've been experiencing a lot of change and transformation in my life. And if you're not up to speed, go and check out some of my most recent videos so you can get up to speed. And because of these changes in my life happening, I really haven't been able to post on here as much as I've been wanting to. I have my hands in a million different pots, but I've been wanting to post more in the community tab like I used to do, like really interact with y'all on here. But your girl is just fighting for her life, and not even in a bad way, just really trying to adjust to all of the larger scale changes that have been happening in my life, okay? And I find that a lot of people don't really talk about the process of change as much as they should. I feel like, yeah, we talk about change, but we don't talk about the like mental, emotional, even physical aspects of undergoing large-scale changes, right? Like when you take on a new lifestyle, new habits, new hobbies, just enter a whole new way of existing and being. You know, sometimes your life is changing faster than you're actually changing with it, faster than your mind and your body and your spirit and all of that can really keep up, you know? So recently, within the past few months, I bought my first home, my townhome, okay? And I've been enjoying it so far. I've been loving it. It's the first place I've ever lived on my own, really pay all my own bills myself, you know, paying big girl bills, you feel me? Even though I'm a bit of a late bloomer in terms of like living on my own and everything, but this is a first time thing for me, all right? And like the way that I've been having to adjust, like I've had to adjust in ways that I never even saw coming. Being on your own, like really out in the world on your own for real, really brings out things in you that you never really thought existed. You know, you're struggling with things you never thought you would struggle with, stuff like that. I've been trying to create my own routines and figure out what's like healthy for me, especially because I'm a bit neurospicy, okay? So I need to do things a certain way to get them done. Just learning how to have more control over my immediate environment and people outside of my home. Still learning how to connect with family and friends, even though I'm not as close to them as I used to be distance-wise. Nothing is really going on. Like nothing bad is happening. Literally nothing bad is happening. Everything I've talked about is just like a part of the process. It's nothing concerning or scary or detrimental. And I'm learning to get used to being in a season that isn't defined by feeling a sense of like crisis or urgency or like wanting freedom and independence or like breaking free from norms and like, you know, just struggle, okay? In my life, a lot of things on paper improved, but I realized I was internally still operating as a version of me that expected chaos, that expected suffering, that expected bad shit to happen. Let me check my, let me focus. I'm already getting distracted. Let's put my phone away, child. Girl, I got two phones. I got two phone, one for the plug, and one for the, okay, okay. I'm a focus, I'm a focus. And I don't even think that I was overly attached to suffering. I'm not attached to suffering as an individual, okay? That's not my jam. But I was accustomed to a life of intensity. I feel like all of my life I have felt and known pressure, okay, from everybody, okay, in my family, in romantic relationships, in friendships, even in my day-to-day life, how I show up in the world. I have invisible disabilities. I'm hearing impaired, okay? And I also stutter. I know I don't stutter a whole lot in these videos because I'm talking to the camera, talking to myself, but I definitely stutter with family and friends, okay? And also on video, I tend to cut out the areas where I'm like struggling through a block or like I can't get my next words out. I tend to cut those out because I feel that my message is more important than people watching me struggle to speak, because I'm very passionate about getting messages out and my message is not being impacted by other kinds of influences, especially online where people can be very mean, evil, and nasty, right? That's not something that I really want to prioritize exposing myself to at this point in my life. But I really stutter a lot on phone calls. Like if I got to call a business or I have an interview or I'm in any type of setting where I'm in some way being evaluated by someone. That tends to really trigger my speech to like very difficult levels. I've even had to unpack this in EMDR, but definitely there's a fight or flight response when it comes to me speaking, you know, in certain day-to-day scenarios, right? Even getting through that, like that's intense, okay? Because I can't fully 100% always control my stutter. I don't know when I'm gonna have a good speech day or when I'm gonna have a really shitty speech day. It's intense dealing with people's responses to my invisible disabilities, like people upset when I can't hear them, when I have to ask them to repeat themselves, or, you know, people getting impatient with me if if I'm struggling to get a thought out or get some words out, you know? And in my family, I am the only daughter, okay? And I'm the baby of the family, but I never really actually felt like the baby because I'm a woman, and that goes into, you know, like social conditioning and the patriarchy and all that kind of stuff. But like I always felt that I had a lot of responsibilities and expectations placed on me at a very young age. Always being the person that people relied on, the person that was responsible, that person that, you know, handled business and took care of the things she was supposed to take care of, right? And I became very attuned and accustomed to people pleasing and always making sure I took care of everybody else's needs before my own. And I really absorbed a lot emotionally throughout my life, and all of my relationships, I felt like a sponge that was absorbing the emotions and intensity of the environment or the dynamic. Maybe I'm just really sensitive to energies like that. And it took a long time for me to really sit with the fact that a lot of my identity had been formed around being needed, being easy, anticipating issues or problems before they even happened. So now that I have grown and I've done a lot of healing, I've done a lot of self-reflection, I've done a lot of work on myself, I've been able to set more boundaries and really grow into the person that I want to be. Now I'm in a space where I'm actually feeling some peace. I'm actually feeling some quiet, some calm, and that can feel really unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Girl, I gotta get my water. Hold on. There's not even any water in here. Okay. And back to something that I mentioned earlier in the video. When I said I'm always mentally preparing for my next battle, I always had my sword and my shield, okay? I was not playing. And the other week, actually, well, like last week, I think, I was on TikTok and I love astrology. I love human design and matrix of destiny, right? And they're all kind of related, kind of similar. And if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. In the matrix of destiny, which is, how can I explain this, girl? Let me Google it actually, because I'm not even gonna, this is what Google is for, okay? And I always keep my laptop ready because I'm always ready to get some information on something. The Destiny Matrix, often called the Matrix of Destiny, is a method of self-discovery that uses your birth date to plot numbers on a geometric grid, okay? And these numbers are gonna tell you something about your path, about your life. I got fruit flies in my house. It's fruit fly season, all right? I still gotta get them traps. Anyway, okay, I'm getting distracted. The Destiny Matrix combines numerology, astrology, the 22 major arcana of the tarot, and chakras to map out core personality traits, life lessons, and hidden talent. Disclaimer, if you don't believe in this type of stuff, like, that's cool. I respect your beliefs, but that don't got nothing to do with my channel. Because I'm gonna talk about what I like to talk about on my channel. You feel me? Okay, thank you. So in my matrix of destiny, I had something called a karmic tail, and your karmic tail numbers tell you about your past life and what lessons that you're meant to work through in this life, basically karma. Okay, and my karmic tail is called the warrior archetype. And when I saw warrior, I'm like, God, that is me. I'm always fighting something. I'm always fighting. I never really rest because I'm like, I don't know when the next time is that I'm gonna have to be strong, where I'm gonna have to fight, where I'm gonna have to push through. Like, I always need to stay sharp and alert so I can be prepared for whatever's coming. Living like that makes it extremely hard to relax into good moments. And it made me think about how even in really good seasons of my life, I never really was present with them and chose to sit with them or really enjoyed them as much as I could have been, because I was mentally preparing for the next difficult season in my life. Damn, that kind of sucks, don't it? And I kind of look at life like things happen in your life in kind of like a wave. You'll have a really high peak, right? Where a lot of things are going good, you're chilling, your money's good, you're healthy, and everybody in your family is happy. And then you'll take a dip where you have low moments. You might be depressed, you might be struggling in one way or another, or somebody might be sick, or, you know, like you can hit some type of unfortunate low, and then things change in life, and then you kind of creep back up to the top of it and have a really good moment for a while, and then it dips back down again. So it's like a roller coaster. When they say life is like a roller coaster, I really do believe that, and I've experienced that in my own life. And yes, I've had peaks, you know, I've had peaks where life was feeling great. Right now I'm at this peak of, right now things are good right now, okay? I also know that I haven't really been celebrating the peaks because I was too busy looking for when the next dip is gonna come up. And then that leads me to think about what happens when there is no immediate battle, or when you really don't know when the next battle is coming because you really don't. Okay, what happens then? I know that I've intentionally created a more peaceful life. I have better boundaries. I speak up for myself more. I challenge myself more. I have more confidence. I've gotten therapy. I've invested good money in therapy. I try my best to have healthy discipline, the kind of discipline that fits with my life. I have healthier friendships. I'm more intentional about what kinds of friends I have in my life and what purpose they serve in my life. Absolutely way less drama because I'm not dating and having these chaotic romantic relationships with men. I've stopped trying to manage every single person, place, and thing outside of myself. I have better self-care habits. I'm eating better. I'm more intentional about what I put in my body. I have a lot more self-awareness, right? These are very intentional changes that I've made to create a better day-to-day life experience for myself, right? So now I'm like, my life is better, so now what? There's not like a bunch of crazy stuff pulling at my energy, pulling at my attention. And I'm not having to survive a difficult season right now, but I'm having to learn how to simply exist in a peaceful one. So what do I do with the piece that I've created? I've created this piece, so that's no longer my challenge, right? I think the challenge now is just trusting it. Trusting it even if I don't foresee or I can't foresee what could possibly be coming next or what my next challenge is, right? I think the challenge now is to push back on the mindset of like constantly waiting on the other shoe to drop, because I don't have to have that mindset. I don't have to be worried about that. That's a choice. I can be more intentional about deprogramming feeling guilt when I want to rest, or feeling guilt when I want to stop working, because the work thing for me is like a constant. I feel like I have to be putting out output and working and creating all of this stuff so I can know what's coming next, right? And it gets really obsessive. I don't always have to be producing. I don't always have to be creating, especially for the consumption of everybody else. Like, I don't exist solely and merely so other people can consume. I really want to spend more time just thinking about what I currently have and basking in that. What are my current blessings? What do I currently have that I enjoy? Who are the people around me that I have right now that I should spend more time with, that I should talk to more, instead of focusing on the next goal, the next output, the next project, right? I find myself behaving too much as if my current reality is extremely temporary. And even though realistically, yeah, everything is temporary, I don't have to be in this mindset, oh, I gotta hurry up and do this XYZ so I can keep enjoying it. Oh, I have to hurry up and do blah, 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 just in case something bad happens. Like, whoa. Whoa. And as I reflect on, work and output and constantly feeling the pressure to produce, right? I've been thinking about ambition, okay? And ambition is something that I used to not feel like I had, because I didn't really have any goals and dreams, and I was just kind of existing on a floating rock. But now that I actually have some ambition, I'm also noticing that ambition still does have a shadow side. I think that shadow side is sometimes ambition can get in the way of you being present in your body, being present in your life, being present in your current reality. As I've been adjusting to life and working for myself and putting out products, putting out content, stuff like that, I thought I was experiencing a lot of anxiety because I was like, I need to get this done, like feeling anxiety as I was working. And I thought I was like, okay, maybe I'm anxious because I shouldn't be doing this, or I should take a different path, or I'm not putting out the right product, or, I'm doing something wrong. But I was like, okay, maybe all the anxiety I'm feeling is just a part of, the process. It's just a part of being an ambitious person who has a goal and a dream in mind. This is the first time in my life where I'm actually committing to something, where I'm committing to a dream and a goal, right? It is my first time being an entrepreneur. I am a website designer. I make custom website templates for women who have service-based businesses. So if you are in the market for a website, okay, please visit my personal website and I can help you out, okay? And I most certainly have income goals, okay, because I have a mortgage. And I also have plans on how I want to expand my entrepreneurship later down the line. So I really do have plans for growth. I have all of these ideas and, things going on in my mind, making me like, oh my gosh, I want this. But I'm ambitious and driven right now. That's a part of the process. That's how you're gonna feel. And I never want to abandon that. I love having goals, but I do also realize that sometimes I gotta keep the energy in check because I can become too obsessed with chasing the next thing. You can become so focused on where you're going or where you wanna be that you forget that you're already standing. You're already standing in a place you used to dream about. You used to dream about the place that you're standing in right now, and you're barely even appreciating it. So here's the reality check I've really been giving myself lately. Today, as of today, and it is June 27th, 2026. As of today, I am in my crib, even though it's fruit flies flying around this hoe. I am building my own business. I'm healthy. I'm safe. Stretching, meditating, exercising, not as much as I should, but still going out with friends, still socializing, still spending time with my family, still having good money management, still putting myself out there and trying new things. And I'm still supported by people who love me. No, my life is not perfect and it'll never be perfect. And it's not like I don't have any worries at all right now. Yes, I still have challenges every single day, but I think right now in life, every day is asking me to embody who I said I always wanted to be. Peace doesn't mean the absence of problems, but I think it means recognizing when you're actually safe enough within your own body and within your present circumstances to just stop fighting for a single freaking moment. Maybe this season of my life is not asking me to be stronger or more brave or be this intense warrior fighting everything off like I was used to being. I just think it's asking me to be more mindful and present. Nurture what I have in my life right now. Appreciate who I have in my life right now. And you know how some people will say, especially in the like spiritual community, some people will be like, the less you fight, the more you can attract. Maybe that's true. I should be more intentional about stopping to smell the flowers and be proud of myself, pat myself on the back, celebrate my win. Oh my gosh, that just reminded me that the other week, my short-term memory, okay, so this wasn't last weekend, but the weekend before last, I'm pretty sure. So the weekend before last, I had my friend over and we made accomplishment cakes because we were talking about how we don't celebrate our wins enough. So we each baked a cake of our own. I'm gonna put some pictures up somewhere, okay? But so we had candles and we wrote out a list of our accomplishments. I think just within the last like 6 months or so. Wrote out a list of what we were proud of ourselves for. And for each one of those items, we put a candle in the cake. We blew out the candles and we wished for more wonderful accomplishment. And I think that was just so beautiful. Such a really good way to just give yourself recognition. Right now is a season of recognition for me. It's okay to just recognize something and show yourself love because of it. Give yourself grace because of it. So are you anything like me? Do you have a habit of just not stopping to appreciate what you've accomplished and what you've done and where you are in life? Tell me about it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, send it to your homegirl. Show me some love. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay gorgeous, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.